Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cowboys, cowgirls, and buckaroos, welcome to Friday Night Flights, brought to you by my good friends over at Blaze Pizza. Big shout out there to Greg McClendon, not able to join us tonight, but nonetheless, hoping he'll stop by mid-race and talk to us on the KMA TV chat board. I am Scott Golovic, your announcer for the evening. This is KMA TV. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Friday Night Flight series. Tonight, we are sitting at Texas. Going to be a great night out here at Texas Motor Speedway Oval. We're driving the Chevy Silverados and the Toyota Tundras. With a track length of just under 1.5 miles. Going to have a great race out here. This is race 15 of 20. What a night down here in Texas. 75 degrees. Air temp setting at 65, causing a track temp of 75. Zero humidity. Mostly cloudy. A great night out here for Texas. Want to give a big shout out to the fans out there on that KMA TV chat. Hoping to see Becky and Martha out there. Hoping to see a lot of fans out there on that KMA TV chat. These drivers are currently finishing up their qualifying times. A little bit of information out here about Texas. Texas, not the big speedway. 1.5 miles around. Going to have to use just a little bit of ease out here at Texas. No brakes needed. Staying up there in those high gears of these Silverados and Toyota Tundras. But tire wear is definitely going to be an issue out here at Texas. Looking at our usual array of drivers out here, we've got Judd Danielson out here joining us tonight. We've got Ronald Klein, Paul Cohen, Jack Watts with Southeast Motorsports coming over to see what he can do out here tonight as Texas, and as well as Edward Bray. Big shout out to Edward Bray tonight, pulling double duty, working as the admin, trying to keep these guys clear and free and out of trouble here at Texas. So a big shout out there to Edward Bray. I also want to give a big shout out to Pad. Now, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow up there in New Jersey, very special event, Walk with Pad. My personal friend, our videographer, Gary Whitmer Jr., will be up there with the Walk with Pad. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are able to get up there to the Walk with Pad, make sure you get up there. We do a monthly pad race once a month here with KMA Racing. Hope to see you there as well. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, above all, do not text and drive. Bad stuff right there. Guaranteed disaster. Also want to give a big shout out to Richard Brose, our Monday night sponsor. Also a big shout out there to Jason Russo, our Tuesday night sponsor. Drivers are wrapping up their qualifying times. Now out here at Texas, qualifying is going to be extremely important. I'm sure we're going to see one or two fender benders and dinger dangers out here at Texas, but you want to be up there in front doing the best you can to stay out of trouble. Big shout out there to Becky Whitmer and GW Graphics out there on that KMA TV chat. Drivers are taking their gridding position out there on the front as we do take a look at our starting grid tonight. Do have Sean Molchek out there in the front with a 28.650 side by side with Travis Browder with a 28.659. Mark Jackson in third place with a 28.669. David Washington with a 28.718. And rounding out the top five is Matthew Quick with a 28.742. In sixth position, we have Craig Kinney. Danny Rudy out there in seventh. Chris Hogue sitting in eighth place. Ninth place belonging to Paul Buzz Cohen. Big shout out there to my good friend Paul. Rounding out our top 10 is Vernon Margheim. Starting in 11th, representing Domino's TYJ, Judd Danielson in the number 85. Lee Staples with Black Talon Racing sitting in 12th position. 13th position, Pro Automotive's very own Jason Russo, position 13. Jack Watts representing Southeast in position 14, and rounding out the top 15 is Edward Bray with a 28.889, position 16, belonging to Garrett Potts. Ronald Klein with RTK Racing, position 17. Brad Ream, position 18th in the number 61. Big shout out there to Brad Ream, position 19. Darren Reason in the number 26, and rounding out the top 20, Sean W. Brown in the number 65. Freeman Kelly sitting back there in position 21. Also back here in the rear, we have John Burkett, Michael Johnson, David Acacia, Donald Stewart, David Whiteside, John Estes. Drivers are beginning to roll down and getting this show on the road here at Texas in race 15 of 20. All starts and restarts are done on leader's discretion. Out there in the front, Sean Molchik, side by side with Travis Browder. All right, ladies and gentlemen, cowboys and cowgirls, little buckaroos, we are getting ready to do the boot, scoot, and boogie for 100 laps out here at Texas Motor Speedway. Big shout out to the fans out there. Good friend Gary Whitmer heading off tomorrow for the Walk with Pad. Always hate to see Gary Whitmer off that track, but I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, for the cause that he's going to be off that track at tomorrow, that is perfectly okay. Pace car going in, and away we go, ladies and gentlemen. Sean Molchik out on that outside inside lane, doing a great job. What a start out there by Sean. Mark Jackson running up side by side with Travis Browder, looking at the number 98, tight in tow. But Sean Molchik in the number 15, large and in charge out here on the Texas Motor Speedway. Straight line formation. Mark Jackson already heading up towards the front. Travis Browder driving the Toyota Tundra, just holding very solid position right now, knowing he's got a long way to get her done. Now do keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, tonight it is about a 28-27 second track out here on the fast side. We're looking at 100 laps. So Green Flag Racing, we're looking right at about 50 minutes, just under an hour. Caution laps can be a little bit strong out here. A little bit strong and long at Texas, but what else would you expect from Texas? Mark Jackson running down the number 15 of Sean Molchik. Drivers have already pulled away to a straight line formation. Looking at the number 6 of Chris Hogue. Chris Hogue out there representing KMA TV. Chris Hogue in the number 6. Started out here in position 8th, already on his way towards the front, trying to get up there to the rear end of Matthew Quick. Matthew Quick with a fast lap of a 28.867. Matthew Quick out here showing his support for Pad. Hey there, big shout out there too. Matthew Quick in the 89. Now usually, folks, he's out here in the Squatty Potty, but tonight choosing to show his support in Racers for Christ. Racers for Christ out here on the Texas Motor Speedway on Friday night flights. Mark Jackson has made his way up to the front as he does come underneath the number 15 of Sean Molchik, taking over that first place position, leading his first lap of the night. Sean Molchik sitting in second place. David Washington number 98 in the Monster. And David Washington, he is indeed a monster. David Washington looking very sharp out here in that Toyota Tundra. Toyotas against Chevy Silverados out here at Texas. Personally, I have my bets out there on a Chevy Silverado. Always been a Chevy guy. Not much trusting there into the Toyotas, but I do know they are a great running vehicle. But it's more about the driver. Getting around this 1.5 mile speedway, it can be a challenge, but David Washington knows exactly what he is doing out here as he does come underneath the number 15 of Sean Mulchick. Sean Mulchick possibly already experiencing a little bit of tire wear, knowing early on tire wear will be a factor here, but he was out there in the front. He has possibly burned them up already as he has dropped down to that number 3 position. Take a look at Travis Browder. Travis Browder started second, currently back into 4th, dropping on back. Craig Kinney sitting in 5th, Matthew Quick in 6th, Chris Hogue in 7th, Judd Danielson in 8th, Jason Russo sitting in 9th, and rounding out the top 10 is the number 33 of Vernon Margheim. One position back of Vernon is the number 77 of Jack Watts, trying to get up to the rear end of Vernon Margheim. Jack Watts out here representing Southeast Motorsports. One position back is the number 40 of Garrett Potts. Garrett Potts hasn't been running with us a long time with the KMA Racing League, but just as of recently has started. So far, Garrett Potts has proven himself to be a very solid and a very clean driver, driving the red and white checkerboard. Always good to see incoming drivers here with the KMA Racing League. Garrett Potts preferring the Chevrolet Silverado. Garrett Potts currently in 12th position, working his way to the front into 12th place. Checking up with our race leaders, David Washington has gotten up there to the front. Now, if I do know anything about David Washington will stay out there in the front. Sean Mulchick still putting out a very solid 3rd place position. 10 in the books at Texas Motor Speedway, 90 to go, 2 lead changes. David Washington looking very sharp out here tonight. Going to take a look and see exactly what did bring this caution out, ladies and gentlemen. Going to back up those cameras and see if we cannot hunt her down. Unfortunately, admittedly, I hit the wrong replay button right there and screwed us up, but we're going to try to make the best of it here. Going to get it up there under that blimp camera mode. Not seeing any difficulty out here, ladies and gentlemen. Oftentimes, if it was a single truck spin, they can be a little bit hard to find. Checking out there in the rear of the field. Looking at the number 6 of Chris Hogue. Chris Hogue up into the wall. Going to back that up one more time, ladies and gentlemen. The number 6 of Chris Hogue up there flirting with the wall, getting a little bit into that wall. A little bit loosey-goosey as he does come off the apron, and the number 6 KMA ATV truck up into the wall, taking the slam and a right turn, but able to regain control of it. Faster Traffic doing a good job of squeezing by back up to the front into pit road. Drivers are completing some green, not green flag, cautionary pit stops, but Ronald Klein opting to stay out. How about it, Ronald Klein? Have you got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Alrighty, our first caution of the night. Noticing you're out there in that position 1. You chose not to go into pit row. Is that correct, sir?
I did. It's a race strategy that I'm gonna try out and see what happens.
Alrighty, copy that. Taking a look at your truck there with RTK Motorsports. I am noticing you do have the pad logo on the side. We appreciate that. But tell us a little bit about RTK Motor Sports.
It's my own racing company. Started about 3 years ago. Basically, because I do dirt track racing, and eventually going to try to develop it into an actual business.
Alrighty, copy that. And I hear you've got some real life track experience out there. Talk to me real quick about that.
Yeah, my most recent experience, I was racing V8 street stocks out in California at Paris Speedway. It's a half-mile dirt track, pretty quick track, a lot of fun.
Alrighty, copy that. Good luck to you tonight.
Thank you, sir.
One more quick driver interview. How about it, Matthew Quick?
How you doing, Scott?
Doing very good. How are you, sir?
Just kind of hanging out for a little bit, just trying to get a couple laps under this truck.
Alrighty, copy that. I am glad that you are supporting Pad. I'm looking at that Pad logo on the side panel of that number 89. But talk to me about Racers for Christ. We usually see you out there in the Squatty Potty. Tonight you're in the Racers for Christ RFC. Talk to me.
Well, I guess trading paints isn't working all that great, so Racers for Christ is my secondary logo. I just like the logo, and I just kind of put it on the truck. I think it supports a great cause.
Alrighty, copy that. Now talk to me a little bit about this 1.5 mile speedway here in Texas.
Well, it's a little bit tricky, but after 10 laps, the tire's going to go out, so it's just trying to figure out what's the race strategy. Are we going to go put to the ground the entire way around, or are we going to add a little bit of brake here and there? And I started getting a little bit of a push there, so I'm going to try 2 tires. Hopefully it doesn't kill me in the end, but we'll find out.
All right, thank you for your time, and good luck for Racers for Christ.
Thanks.
Matthew Quick with Racers for Christ. David Washington sitting back there in 3rd position. Sean Molchuk sitting in 4th. Travis Browder, very solid in position 5. Big shout out there to the fans, Kristen and Becky, chatting it up out there. Hey, Apache out there, appreciate the input there, Apache. Game ATV is up and coming. Only been up on our feet for about a week, but as you know, sir, there's a lot to it, and away we go. Ronald Klein, Matthew Quick, side by side. Lap 15, and away it goes. That will bring it out, I do believe. Back-to-back cautions. Looking at the number 89, getting a little bit of a flash. That was Matthew Quick. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a classic example right there of netcode. We're going to back it up, take one more look at it. And the number 89 of Matthew Quick, I do believe, doing a little bit of a flash dance, disappearing. I tell you what, Racers for Christ disappearing in front of Sean Molchuk. That must have been a little bit scary right there for Sean Molchuk, coming across the front end, jacking up the entire field. Mark Jackson having to get it into the wall to save it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that will unfortunately bring out our second caution of the night. Due to a massive degree of netcode. Now, we talk about netcode a lot out here, folks. Classic example right there. Now, a lot of these drivers, I'm not expecting them to go into pit road. They just did come out of pit row on a back-to-back caution here at Texas. Going to give us a chance to talk with a couple of more drivers as they do get up to the rear end of our pace car. Ronald Klein, David Washington, Travis Browder, Craig Kinney in 4th, and Sean Molchuk sitting in 5th. How about it, Travis Browder? Have you got a copy?
Hey, Scott, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing very good, sir. Good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome. Happy to be back.
Yes, sir. Now, talk to me about what you saw there going on. We just had some back-to-back cautions. We saw a driver actually disappear. I know he's racing for Jesus Christ, but Jesus Christ, he disappeared.
Something happened there. I think his screen froze, I think, on that restart, and I saw the guy was blinking really like crazy, and I don't know what happened, but I ghosted through him, but I'm okay.
All righty, good to see you are okay, and you are okay. But now talk to me about Texas. You're up here in position 3. What are the tricks out here to Texas?
Saving the tires, that's a factor here. Tires wear really, really quick here. That's the main thing.
Tires, and more tires. All right. Now, what about a fuel strategy, Travis?
I believe you can go 30 to 32 laps, I think. I could be wrong, but I think it's around that range.
All right. Anybody you want to give a big shout out to, Tebow?
You, Scott, for KMA. John Hendrick for Over the Top Paints and Designs. Ted for Gearhead Paint Shop. Mike Kalini for Pad. And my team, Max Velocity.
All righty. Well, I tell you what. I think you covered all the bases. Good job, Tebow.
All right. Thank you, Scott.
Travis Browder. What a pleasant young gentleman. Always a pleasure to talk to. Take a look at current results underneath our second caution of the night. Big shout out there to Blaze Pizza. Greg McClendon, tonight's winner of tonight's race, will get the package brought to you by Blaze Pizza. Sunglasses, beach towels, free pizza coupons. Big shout out there to Greg McClendon with Blaze Pizza. Taking a look at the rear of the field, Matthew Quick in the number 89, heading into pit row, hoping that he's gotten his situation fixed up. Doing a Houdini right there, bringing out our second caution of the night. Floating up through our field, Darren Reason sitting in pit row, getting fuel and tires. Edward Bray out on track with Black Talon Racing, subdivision of KMA Racing. We want to give a big shout out there to Edward Bray, the Reaper. Edward Bray with Black Talon Racing. A couple of reminders, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow night, very special event. Going to be doing the Suicide Awareness race tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Central, live at 8 Central. Suicide Awareness, they're on Saturday night. Cody will be joining me up in the booth. Going to be a good show out there tomorrow night. And on Sunday, Easter night, Autism Awareness. Going to be learning a lot this weekend about suicide and autism. Travis Browder, we're going to get a long chat in with Travis Browder on Sunday. Travis knows a little bit about being autistic. Fine young man right there. He was involved with our first Autism Awareness race several months ago. We're going to do it one more time. Drivers will be going back to Green Flag Racing, hoping we're going to see a little bit better of a start right there. We are on lap 21 of 100. Ronald Klein leading 9 laps. David Washington leading 3. Pace car is in. Ronald Klein already jumping up on that start with a big start there by Ronald Klein. David Washington side by side with Travis Browder, but down onto that inside lane comes the number 90 GoPro Pepsi of Craig Kenny. Craig Kenny possibly into a 3-wide position with Travis Browder. Travis Browder going up just a little bit. This is lap 22 of 100. Side by side with number 98 and number 98. David Washington, a little bit of a better run coming out of that corner. Keeping an eye on the line of the number 98. What a run. Travis Browder side by side with Ronald Klein. Ladies and gentlemen, what a great start. Caution is out. Take a look at what we'll see bring out our next caution of the night. Ronald Klein definitely going at a little bit of a lower set of speed there, but not seeing that as the caution. A little bit of contact there with Danielson. The drivers do seem to be in control. Seen several drivers disappearing out onto this track tonight as we are floating around. That's definitely going to be an issue with drivers blinking in and out. Still not sure exactly what did cause that caution right there. Keeping an eye on the number 76. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize for not being able to find this caution. Nonetheless, we're going to get it up and move it on. Still looking at the number 76, but he seems to be okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on. Not having good luck with finding these cautions out here tonight. I do apologize for that. Looking at David Washington into pit road. Dave Washington taking right sides. Pretty sure he's going to be taking left sides as well. Going into pit row will drop David Washington several spots out. Race out of pit row. This will be our third caution of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, going to get David Washington up into the booth with us. How about it, David Washington? Have you got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're looking very sharp out here. Right now you are in 7th. Still clean, though. Been up here leading 3 laps. Talk to me about your night so far.
Well, these trucks with the settings that I have set up for this thing, it takes about, I don't know, 4 or 5 laps to get going. So I just kind of, let the guys in front do their thing, and then once my tires get warmed up, just start going.
Now, I have seen you many a time, sir, sitting back in 3rd, 4th, possibly one time even as far back as 6th or 7th. And in the last 10 laps, you get it done when it needs to get done. Are you working on any sort of a fuel strategy? We've already had 3 very early cautions. What do you think's going on with that, sir?
I just gotta kind of wait and see what happens here. Hopefully we get a long green flag run to figure out what the fuel's going to be, and then we'll be able to know better.
All righty, copy that. Big shout out there to David Washington. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
David Washington running with Judd Danielson. One more quick driver interview. How about it, Brad Ream? You got a copy, sir?
Loud and clear, Scott.
All right, wow, look at there. You are up here into 2nd place. You started 18th. Talk to me about how that happened.
Well, I thought I'd learn a little something from Mr. Klein there in the last green run as he stayed out. And, we only had a couple laps there on our tires and on our tank, and thought maybe we'd stay up out of stay up in the front a little bit, or try to stay up here and try to stay out of the mix. It's been happening here recently, so it's a safety move.
Copy that. Now, I hear you've got some real-life racing experience out there with Dangler Brothers Racing and something about a win at a Kentucky Speedway. Talk to me about that real quick.
Yeah, we did a little Jeff Gordon driving school when he teamed up with Mario Andretti a few years ago, and we got 8 hot laps around Kentucky where they chipped the engine, and we pegged it. They pegged it at 150 mile an hour, and we took the top spot there. But that's the equivalent of the real life racing, besides go-karts on Grandpa's farm.
Go-karts on Grandpa's farm. All righty. I tell you what, big shout out to you, Brad. Wishing you luck. Are your daughters out here tonight watching you?
Unfortunately, they are not. They are doing their own thing tonight. I think my mother might be. I sent her the broadcast link, so she expressed an interest, and she's 71 years old, and she thought that was pretty awesome the way you're broadcasting through KMA TV.
All righty. Big shout out there to Mom Ream. Good luck to you tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Big shout out to all the fans out there. Big shout out there to John Hedrick. Seeing John Hedrick out there on that KMA TV chat. Travis Browder out here in position 1. Pace car is in. And away goes Travis Browder, loud and proud. Lee Staples and Brad Ream side by side. Craig Kenny bringing up that position 4. Lap 28 of 100. Tight racing. Still got a long way to go out here, folks. 72 laps to go. 4 lead changes, 3 cautions. Cautions totaling out 12 laps. There is the number 64 of Lee Staples. Racing hard with the number 90, bumper to bumper, nose to tail here on lap 29. Number 61 of Brad Ream dropping back to position 5 as David Washington takes that outer lane in the rearview mirror of Brad Ream. We have got Edward Bray, Black Talon, and KMA Racing. Edward Bray looking very sharp out there. Big shout out there to Ted Immenheiser with Gearhead Paint Shop. Do you believe he is the painter out there that put that one there together? Gearhead Paint Shop. Ted Immenheiser making Edward Bray look very sharp as he is working his way around the number 61 of Brad Ream. There is the number 15 of Sean Molchuk, though, our pole setter for the evening, knocked back early. Right now, working his way back up there to 7th place on lap 30. Side-by-side action with the number 66, Edward, and the number 15 of Sean. Number 31 watching it all happen up through his front windshield. I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, speaking of that front windshield, let's get up there into the driver's seat of the number 31. Looking at the rear end of the number 66 of Edward Bray with Black Talon Racing side by side up there with the Nationwide is on your side, and Nationwide is indeed on the side of Edward Bray side by side racing. We're looking at the gyro cam from Freeman Kelly. Freeman Kelly having to back it off, hanging off the right quarter panel. Got to be very, very careful there. Jumping up to the in-car cam of Sean Molchuk as he does take Brad Ream onto his outside, trying to chase down the number 64 of Lee Staples. Getting on into the back, taking a look at Michael Johnson representing out that Purple Pride. Michael Johnson started 23rd, is in 23rd. Watching Michael Johnson in and out, in and out. Paul Cohen in the number 51. Started 9th, currently is in 21st, up to the rear end of David Whiteside. David Whiteside trying to get onto the rear end of the number 77 of Jack Watts. And over the top, Paints and Designs Production right there being driven by the number 77 of Jack Watts. Going to take a spin around there of Jack Watts. Loving the black and white Lightning. Representing Southeast Motorsports, the number 77 of Jack Watts. Looking at that pad logo. What a nice looking truck there, ladies and gentlemen. Southeast Motorsports, number 77 of Jack Watts in 14th. Started out 14th, right now is in position 18. Darren Reason. That'll be the caution. Looking at the number 14. We're going to back that up, ladies and gentlemen. I do believe the number 14 belonging to, pretty sure that might be Danny Rudy. Going to get a number on that. Danny Rudy going to back that up and see exactly what went wrong with the number 14 of Danny Rudy. Dan's top-notch air conditioning cooling. Looks like Danny Rudy was just down on that track, possibly going in for a green flag pit stop, coming around the apex of that corner and just spinning it. Ladies and gentlemen, backing it up one more time. No contact with any other driver, but the number 14 of Danny Rudy spinning it, coming back up onto the track. Near miss there by Michael Johnson. But I tell you what, that driver, find out who that driver is right there. Not much he was able to get through him. All right, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have Becky close her eyes for this next replay. We're going to get the in-car and take a look at it. And here you go, T-bone action right there onto the number 14 of Danny Rudy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, back up to green flag racing. Underneath our fourth caution of the night, Ronald Klein lining up onto the rear end of the pace car. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back with you very shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, big shout out there to our sponsors, Pro Automotive and Blaze Pizza. We are back under caution here at Texas on lap 38 of 100. A little bit of a challenge out here tonight. 5 lead changes, 4 cautions, totaling 15 laps here at Texas. Ronald Klein out there on the front, side by side with Sean Molchuk. Looking at our current running order, Ed and Jason sitting in a very strong 7th and 8th. Vernon Markheim back there in 9th. Judd and Lee 11th and 12th. Brad Riemann 14th. Garrett Potts in 16th. You want to get a chat in with Garrett. Haven't really had a chance to talk to Garrett a whole lot. Garrett is one of our newer drivers here running with the KMA League, but so far has done a very good job out here. How about it, Garrett? Have you got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir, Mr. Scott, I do.
Alrighty, now honestly, I do not know a whole lot about you, sir, nor do our fans. You've only been running with us for probably about 3 weeks. Tell us all about Garrett, or as much as you can in 30 seconds.
Well, I'm 19 years old. I'm from Columbia, Tennessee. I've been around racing, and the great race car driver Starlin Marlin, he grew up with my dad, and they're still pretty great friends. We watch him every time we can up at Nashville. Haven't done a lot of racing on the real tracks. Have done some. Didn't turn out the way I wanted. Don't have enough funds to keep it there. So here I am and running what I can.
All right, you got any sponsors out there, any fans out there rooting you on?
Just my family, my mom and dad. They support me on everything, and my beautiful wife, Courtney.
All right, big shout out to Mom and Dad and Courtney. Good luck to you, Garrett.
Thank you, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Garrett Potts right now sitting in 15th position in the number 40. Ronald Klein, Sean Molchuk, Travis Browder, David Washington, Craig Kinney rounding out our top 5. Hey, Becky Whitmer knows all about Sterling Marlin, true NASCAR driver. Big shout out there to Steve Dutch rooting on his good friend Travis Browder. Drivers are lined up, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Pace car is in. Ronald Klein, Sean Molchuk. Ronald Klein one more time out of that gate. But Sean Molchuk, very wise to the number 76 of Ronald Klein, getting an equally great jump as the drivers are coming out of turns 1 and 2. Ronald Klein, Sean Molchek, Travis Browder, David Washington, but Craig Kinney trying to be a contender out here tonight on lap 40 of 100 in race 15 of 20, brought to you by Blaze Pizza. Big shout out there to Blaze Pizza. Side-by-side action up in front with Sean Molchek and Ronald Klein. Ronald Klein onto that outside lane. Going to lose a little bit of grip right there, trying to fight back onto the rear end. Almost 3 wide. We are 3 wide up there in front with David, Sean, and Travis. David having to back her down just a little bit. Hard racing up here in the front. Side by side with the number 98. 98 with a big run onto Travis Browder, going to drop you down into that in-car action. Looking at David Washington trying to track down the number 18 Cessna of Travis Browder. Now, ladies and gentlemen, look at the line. Look at the lines of these drivers. Down, down, down we go. Pretty steep embankment. And as they come out of this corner, ladies and gentlemen, up, up, up. Not quite to the wall. Back down onto that inside. Going to touch that grass. Going to come back out of this corner here. Scoop up to that wall. Not quite back down to that inner lane. The line is everything, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, Travis Browder and David Washington doing a great job on that line. David Washington wanting to go outside, back down to the inside. Passing on the outside is extremely difficult here at Texas. Nose to tail and a bumper to bumper. Tighter than a hair in a biscuit. Travis Browder, David Washington. Craig Kinney, Sean Molchek putting on a good show for 3rd and 4th. But Jason Russo and Matthew Quick and Freeman Kelly. There is shows and action all over the place tonight, ladies and gentlemen, here at Texas. Looking at Matthew Quick trying to get up to the number 25 of Jason Russo. Big shout out there to Jason Russo, our Tuesday night sponsor. Number 89. Racing for Christ. Jason Russo up onto the rear end of Sean Molchek. Big action in front. Number 18, Travis Browder. That'll bring out that caution. A little bit of hot action up here as the number 98. Travis Browder getting turned a little bit there by David Washington. Well, I don't know. I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a different look at it. We're going to put you into the in-car cam and tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. But nonetheless, Travis Browder going for a bit of a ride. A little bit of in-car action right there. David Washington coming up onto the rear end of Travis Browder. Doesn't look like he did anything wrong. Just the truck got a little bit wiggly-waggly. Travis Browder going for a ride. Travis Browder trying to hang on to her. A little bit of complete chaos from the windshield of Lee Staples. All right, Becky. Can't close your eyes for this one here, Becky, because this is a long-term view of Lee Staples. He was currently in 5th. He's currently in 5th. Smoke on the water, smoke on the track. Lee Staples guiding it through. What a great job guiding that through right there. That will land. Lee Staples sitting up there in 5th place, back up into in-car action under a cautionary pit stop by Lee Staples. As soon as Lee Staples is in and out of pit row, we are going to get a driver interview in with Lee Staples. Just about every driver going into pit row. Drivers fueled up, ready to go, coming out of pit row. Lee Staples back onto the track. Lee Staples driving for Blacktown Racing and KMA Racing. How about Lee Staples? Have you got a copy, sir?
Hey Scott, how you doing?
I'm doing good, but I tell you what, sir, you, I think, maybe made Becky close her eyes, because what I did on that last cautionary, we jumped into your cockpit and we took a ride through that melee. What a job you did by getting through it, but talk to us about what you were doing right there.
You know what, Scott? I was trying to slow down a little bit, and I just swerved a little bit, but I tried not to swerve enough to where I'd lose the truck. But those kind of things are more luck than skill most of the time.
I tell you what, you did an awesome job navigating your way through that. Now, we are looking at your truck there, graphics. We got some interesting stickers right there. First of all, LA Graphics. We're looking at a PDS and a K4 sticker. Talk to me about the truck.
Yeah, LA Graphics is just, I do my own schemes for my vehicle, so that's just a little signature I put on those. K4 is for my wife Karen. Her favorite number is 4. And then PDS is for Perry Dan Staples. That's my father. He passed away back in 1984, but he raised me going to NASCAR racing, and he's the one that is responsible by love for motorsports. So I honor him with his initials.
Alrighty, well, I tell you what, you have got a very deep, emotionally paint job right there, but you're pretty good place right up there in second place. Cautions are running a little bit heavy out here tonight, taking its toll out here at Texas. What is your plan? We're going to be at the halfway point by the time we get back to green flag. So what is your plan for the remaining 50 laps?
You know what, Scott? I don't know what I have for the top 5. I'm shooting for a top 10 at this point, and trying to conserve tires a little bit longer till it's time not to conserve tires.
Alrighty, sounds like you do have a plan of attack. Alright, good luck to you, Lee.
Thank you, Scott.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, 8 lead changes, 5 cautions, totaling out 18 laps. Looking at our running order, Judd up to 3rd position, Jack Watts up to 5th, Brad Ream sitting in a very solid 7th, Garrett Potts up to 8th position, Travis Browder back into position 14 as the stats do update, Edward Bray in 16th, Matthew Quick back there to round out the top 20. Sean Molchek, our pole sitter of the night, back in position 1, 1 lap down. A little bit of a heartbreak there for Sean Molchek. That is the way the cookie crumbles, ladies and gentlemen. Drivers are lined up. Double foul. Going to be taking our 5th restart of the night. And away goes Craig Kinney up there in the front. Side-by-side action with Judd Danielson and Lee Staples. Judd Danielson showing his support out here tonight on lap 54 pad. Lee Staples squeezing down in front of the number 76 of Ronald Klein. Ronald Klein going to go double foul with Lee Staples, or will he stay in line? Will he drop under? A little bit of a different line being ran right there with Ronald Klein. Judd Danielson started out in 11th position, currently in position 2. Drivers have formed up to straight line formation for the most part. Judd Danielson representing Domino's TYJ. Very colorful truck right there. Trying to get up there to the rear end of the number 90 of Craig Kinney in first place. Lee Staples in 3rd, Ronald Klein 4th, Jack Watts getting up there to 5th place. Hoping to see some green flag pit stops out here tonight at Texas, but oftentimes those are hard to come by. 5 cautions laps in, just over the halfway point. Taking a look at the number 20, Dave Acacia. Started 24th up to 8th position. Dave Acacia looking at the rear end of the number 171 of David Whiteside. Side by side with Travis Browder. Travis Browder in 8th position, trying to work his way up there. Number 98, David Whiteside. David Whiteside's been putting on a very good show out here tonight. Number 25 of Jason Russo coming under. Looks like Dave Acacia right now voluntarily just letting a few drivers drift on by as the number 40 of Garrett Potts comes around. Jumping up to the cockpit of Garrett Potts, looking at the rear end of Jason Russo as they come around. The number 171 of David Whiteside coming up to the sidewall of the number 61 of Brad Ream. A little bit of a view right there from that left front suspension. Looks pretty calm down here on the left side. Taking a look at that right front. Looks like these drivers are going to be coming up onto slower traffic. Jason Russo currently in 7th position. Up to David Washington. David Washington racing it out with the number 18 of Travis Browder. Line is everything. Travis Browder coming up onto the rear end of Jack Watts. Jack Watts with Southeast Motorsports. Jack Watts trying to catch up to the rear end of Lee Staples. Lee Staples currently in 3rd place position. But the big race is up here in front with Craig Kinney and Judd Danielson. Judd Danielson started out 11th, right now in 2nd position. "59 laps completed out of 108 lead changes, 5 cautions, 18 laps. Positions 1 and 2 with a good run out here tonight. Lee Staples in 3rd. Good hard racing involving David Washington. David Washington, Travis Browder, and Jack Watts putting on a most excellent show out here tonight. Big shout out there to Dre Broadcasting. Good evening, KMA. Well, good evening there, David. Always like to give credit where credit is due. And ladies and gentlemen, Dre Broadcasting has given KMA TV huge hands getting us up and rolling out here. So big shout out there to my good friend David Everly. Taking a look at the number 31 of Freeman Kelly, racing hard with Brad Ream. David Whiteside in the 171, showing Pad his respect. Do not forget tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, about the Walk with Pad. Our good friend Gary Whitmer Jr. will be up there walking with Pad tomorrow. Walk with Pad and join us in KMA TV the first Sunday of the month for our monthly Race for Pad awareness. Gary Whitmer, not able to be here tonight, but he's going to be walking with Pad Saturday afternoon. Freeman and David and Garrett not really competing with one another. I always talk about drivers racing with drivers and racing against drivers. Contact with the number 171, David Whiteside. Will it spring that caution? We are still green. Dave Whiteside way below speed. No caution will fly. David Whiteside, though, getting up into that wall. Only 130 miles per hour. Way below pace, ladies and gentlemen. Getting it back up to speed. We're going to take a quick walk around the truck of David Washington. Not seeing any. Caution is out. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Evidently, they decided to throw that caution anyway. That was a little bit late throw on that caution. Well, actually, there was another issue out there on the track for that caution to be thrown. We're going to find that up there and see exactly. Do you believe that was the number 40 of Garrett Potts? Now, Garrett Potts is doing a pretty good job out here tonight, so we're going to back it up, take a look, and see exactly what did happen. Big contact there with the number 25. 25 of Jason Russo. Garrett Potts up into that wall. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Garrett Potts coming across the nose of the number 25 of Jason Russo. Unfortunate break there for Jason Russo, but I tell you what, we're going to get into one of my favorite views. Jason Russo, not able to do a darn thing about that. Minding his own business, and the wall, and the number 40. What a ride there for Jason Russo. That will bring out our next caution of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 66. Jason Russo sitting in pit row, but he is alive. Looking at Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson pulling out of pit row. Michael Johnson showing his support out here for Pad. Going to give us a chance to talk with Michael Johnson. How about it, Michael Johnson? Have you got a copy, sir?
Yep. 10-4.
All righty. How are we doing tonight out here at Texas?
Started off rough. I am actually in my second truck, so I'm just taking it easy. Rolling through pit road to keep them open and just taking it easy. Trying not to wreck this one.
All righty, got to be very careful out here. Now, speaking of careful, you've got to be pretty focused. And when I say you've got to be focused, you know where I'm going. You can't be distracted. Talk to me about that round logo back there on your quarter panel.
PADD.org. People get distracted driving. A lot of people think it is just texting and driving, but it's not just texting and driving. It is all around, all distracted driving. Anything that causes you to take your eyes off that road for a split second is a distraction.
Now, you know that we are having the walk with Pad tomorrow up there in New Jersey. Gary Whitmer's going to be up there. Are you going to be able to get up there yourself?
Negative. I gotta work, and I'm a long ways from New Jersey, so I'm not gonna be able to make it. But one of these years, I plan on getting up there and meeting Mr. Kalini in person and doing the walk.
All right, and nonetheless, you are looking very sharp out there, decked out in purple. Good luck to you tonight, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, and you have a good night and everything that you do.
Big shot out there, too. Michael Johnson showing his support for Pad. Pulling into pit road. That will put Craig Kinney out there onto that front line. How about it, Craig Kinney? Have you got a copy, sir?
Yeah, I got you, Scott.
All right, looking very sharp out there in the number 90. GoPro, be a hero. Well, Craig, we are past the halfway point. You started 6th, you're currently in 1st. Are you going to be the hero tonight here at Texas?
I'm going to try. We still got a long way to go here with 30 laps, so hopefully we'll do some green flag pit stops and, might see some pit strategy played. So still a long way to go, but it'd be nice to win tonight.
Well, it'd be nice to win any night of the week. Talk to me a bit about your sponsor there, GoPro.
They make cameras for, adventure sports and stuff like that, really rugged, dependable cameras, and that's a pretty cool product.
All righty. Good luck to you tonight.
Thanks, up.
Craig Kenny looking very sharp out here tonight. Drivers are side by side. Craig Kenny on that inside lane. Judd Danielson on that outside lane. We are on lap 68 of 100. Winding her down, 32 laps to go. Love seeing all the pad logos out here, especially the one on the back end of the number 85 of Judd Danielson. Pace car is in. Craig Kenny, Judd Danielson side by side. David Washington on that inside. Thought Judd might have wanted to get down. Thought better of it. Side by side action there with Judd Danielson and the number 90 of David Whiteside. Lee Staples side by side with the number 18 of Travis Browder. Travis Browder in it to win it. Ronald Klein still in it. Back in position 7. Jack Plutz in position 6. Lee Staples in position 5. In and out and around this 1.5 mile speedway. This is Friday Night Flights, brought to you by Blaze Pizza. Big shout out there to Greg McClendon. $70 laps in the books, 10 lead changes, 6 cautions, totaling out 22 laps. Craig Kenny leading 23 laps. Travis Browder leading 20. Ronald Klein leading 13 out here tonight. One, two, three, four up here in front with Craig, David, Judd, and Travis. Jack and Lee. A little bit behind, got about 6 truck lengths back there, but here in Texas, that is nothing at all. Jumping back to the rear of the field, looking at the number 31 of Freeman Kelly, last driver on the lead lap, but he is a ways away from position 17, belonging to Michael Johnson. Darren Reason, a lot of action up there in front of Darren Reason, and the number 51 of Paul Cohen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, great looking truck here being driven by Paul Cohen. It is the wet paint Yosemite Sam. A lot of drivers out here have a lot of fun with the paints. And the number 51 of Paul Cohen, well, he's looking pretty sharp. Little picture of the crazy little gun guy. Back off on that tailgate. Hey, big shout out there to Paul Cohen. Looking very sharp out here tonight. Paul Cohen started 9th, currently is in 15th position, trying to get up to the rear end of Darren Reason. Sean Brown racing hard with David Whiteside for position 12. Dave Acacia in the DeWalt, position 11, started 24th, making his way towards the front. Sean Molchek, our pole sitter of the night, though, sitting back in 10th. Sean Molchek has been up, down, and all around. Vernon Markheim, currently 9th, started 10th, making his way forward. Taking a look at that in-car cam of Vernon Markheim as he is all over the rear end of Brad Ream. While we are in car, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to crank this engine sound up just a little bit. Going to tune you in to the heavy horsepower in the Chevy Silverados and Toyota Tundras. David Washington has made his way out to the front. We talked to David Washington earlier, and he had talked about patience, patience, and patience. Caution is out. That will bring out, I do believe, our 7th caution of the night. Single truck spin out. Not quite sure what brought it out, looking at David Whiteside. David Whiteside heading off into pit road. Not sure if David Whiteside was the reason that the caution had been thrown, but it does appear that he may have been, looking at David Whiteside in the number 171. David Whiteside spinning. I do believe that is the 2nd time David Whiteside having a little bit of difficulty here. Single car spin out there for the number 171 of David Whiteside. Going to put you up into that driver's seat so we can see exactly what did happen with David Whiteside. Driving along. Oops, there's a wall. Whoops, there's another wall. Round and round I go. David Whiteside bringing out our 7th caution of the night on lap 80, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Johnson out there in front, leading lap 80. All right, ladies and gentlemen, one more quick commercial break, and we will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Big shout out there to Pad. Big shout out there to Richard Brose. We are on lap 81 of 119 laps to go. 13 lead changes, 7 cautions totaling 25 laps. This is race 15 of 20. Looking at Paul Cohen. Going to get a quick driver interview here in with Paul Cohen and find out about this Yosemite Sam paint job. How about it, Paul? Paul Cohen, have you got a copy, sir?
Yeah, I do, Scott. How you doing tonight?
Doing very good. Got a big smile on my face because I'm looking at your paint job there with Yosemite Sam. Talk to me about it.
All right. Well, Wet Paints is just it's a company that supplies theaters with lighting and sound and whatever, and Yosemite Sam is just an old friend.
All Alrighty, copy that. Loving the back off on that tailgate. Anybody you want to give a big shout out to before we go back to green flag?
Well, yeah, all the racing guys here and people against distracted driving. And I'm sorry, but I forgot the name of the sponsor for tonight's race, so I hope they forgive me.
Blaze Pizza, Greg McClendon. All right, appreciate you, sir. You're always a pleasure. You are sitting in position 14. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
And we are away, ladies and gentlemen, with our next restart of the evening. David Washington out there in front with a huge lead off of the number 18 of Travis Browder and Sean Mulchick. This is lap 83 of 100. It is go time. It is past go time. Judd Danielson side by side with the number 15 of Sean Mulchick, chasing down the tail end of Travis Browder. Judd Danielson certainly does have his work cut out for him up onto the rear end of Judd Danielson, but Sean Mulchick not ready to give up this fight yet. Sean Mulchick started out in first place. He is currently in fourth place. Big shout out to the fans out there. Ladies and gentlemen, who do you think is going to bring it home on race 15 of 20 in the Friday night series? Big shout out there to Greg McClendon and Blaze Pizza. After all this good racing and this good talking about pizza and looking at the Domino's Pizza and the Blaze Pizza and the Richie B's Pizza, I tell you what, ladies, I think I'm going to get Greek. Just kidding out there. We'll be getting me some, actually I can't have pizza yet. I am on a Fish Friday, so, well, at midnight, might have to break me out a pizza. I can make me a fish pizza. That might be a thought right now. Sean Mulchick looking at the rear end of Judd Danielson. Sean Mulchick opting for that inner line. Judd Danielson staying a little bit more up onto that higher groove. We are going to float to the back, check in with drivers, and work our way forward. Jason Russo currently in pit row. Edward Bray in pit row, 8 laps down. David Whiteside in pit row. John Estes back there in 1 lap down, position on. Position 17. Freeman Kelly, position 16, 1 lap down. Michael Johnson racing with David Casey. Both drivers are actually on this lead lap. Michael Johnson in 15th. David Casey is sitting in 14th. Paul Cohen, Yosemite Sam himself, sitting in position 13. Trying to get up to the rear end of the number 26 of Darren Reason. Sean W. Brown sporting that plain right wrapper. Looking like a DOT police officer. Nonetheless, Sean Brown, he's a good-looking truck right there. Brad Ream sitting in position 10. Brad Ream hoping for a top 10 tonight. He may very well deliver that. Ronald Klein sitting in position 9 on lap 88. Lee Staples, this is where that action is. Lee Staples, Jack Watts, positions 8 and 7. Judd Danielson up on that outside lane, side by side with Vernon Margheim. Tight racing there with Vernon Margheim and Judd Danielson. Tighter than a tick on the back of a flea dog. Judd Danielson losing speed. Judd Danielson fighting back. 64. What a move there by Lee Staples, but Lee Staples going for a ride. Keeping it under control. Hang on to her, Lee Staples. Number 61 of Brad Ream will come around the slower traffic of the number 64 of Lee Staples. Lee Staples will drop to 10th position. Brad Ream up to 9th. Judd Danielson sitting back up there in 8th, but I do believe Judd Danielson might have a little bit of front end damage. Ronald Klein in 7th and Jack Watts. We're on lap 90 of 100, ladies and gentlemen. David Washington, Travis Browder, positions 1 and 2. Sean Mulchick quite a bit away as we do look at this from the blimp view. Looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, our top 6 onto this blimp view camera angle. Becky Whitmer wanting to see Browder or one of the Washingtons. Dave Washington out there in front. Travis Browder in position 2. This is where the action is, ladies and gentlemen. Looking at the in-car camera of Travis Browder, started second, currently in second place. Running a fast lap of 28.706. Laps led of 20. Sean Molchek eyeing the rear end of Travis Browder with 8 to go. Ladies and gentlemen, not sure if Sean's going to get her up there or not. Craig Kinney sitting in 4th place as at number 33 of Vernon Markheim, tighter than a hair in a biscuit. And again, underneath, there goes Craig Kinney, Vernon Markheim, side by side with Craig Kinney in the number 90. Tight, tight, tight. This is like a boxing match between Craig Kinney and Vernon Markheim, drivers trading blows left and right. You pass me, I'm going to pass you right back. Vernon Markheim for a ride, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, Becky, couldn't give you a warning right there. Hang on to your hat there, Becky. Now I'll tell you, close your eyes. Vernon Markheim going for a ride. I tell you what, Becky, we got to get that one there in that gyro in-car cam. Here we go. Don't close your eyes, Becky. Be brave. Except, well, that there was the rear tire angle of it. Nonetheless, Vernon into pit road. Going to take that reset. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now that is going to change a lot of things out here. We are still going to be under green flag racing. We're still going to get a few laps in. David Washington in first, Travis Browder in second, Sean Molchek sitting in third. Let's watch these drivers, see if they're going to cycle and give up these very critical number 1 spots right here. Not sure if it'd be wise to go in or go out of pit row. By the time we do get back to green flag racing, we're going to be looking at about a 6-lap shootout. David Washington, Travis Browder, Sean Molchek, Jack Watts sitting back there in position 4. Going to give a quick in-car camera here to Jack Watts. How about it, Mr. Jack Watts? Have you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. You have worked hard tonight, sir. You have started out there in position 14th. You have been up here to position 4. I appreciate the support on the Southeast Motorsport supporting pad out there. I appreciate that, Jack. Talk to me about your race and anything else you want to talk to me about.
Man, this has been a fun race. I mean, these guys are really good. It's been a really good race. Just trying to keep it clean, trying to stay in the front, and do what I can for my team, Southeast Motorsports and Pad. Representing Pad, always a good thing to do.
Alrighty, copy that. Now, we're going to be looking at about a 4-lap shootout. I'm noticing you're opting to stay out. So, have you got the tires to get her done?
I don't know. I hope so. We'll probably have 1 or 2 to go when it comes to green. But Travis and David, they're really fast. It's going to be hard to pass those guys.
And have you got anybody out there on the KMA TV chat rooting you on?
I don't know about that.
Alrighty, well, good luck to you, Jack. You're definitely looking good. Good representation of Pad and Southeast Motorsports.
Thanks, Scott.
Judd Danielson sitting back there in position 5.
Another truck there.
How about it, Judd Danielson? Have you got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir, I do.
Alrighty, we're looking at the Domino's TYJ. Talk to me about your night so far.
Oh boy, man! Left front fender tells the story, but you know, I'm pretty confident in finishing this baby out in the top 10. So, really fast truck tonight. Was really happy with it. Good to be back in here with the boys, man.
Alrighty, I also want to give you a big shout out and a big thank you for supporting Pad. Looking at the Pad logo up there on the rear end of that. Talk to me a little bit about how Pad has affected your life.
You know what, Scott? It's I mean, obviously I've been running Pad for a couple of years now, and you know, working with Mike a little bit, Michelle, you guys, you know, I've been working with a lot of different drivers throughout the last 2 years to kind of get Pad notoriety and get it out there. It's it's obviously a bad situation, and I feel for all the families that have to go through a situation like that. But yeah, I go to my trucks, I go to my cars, phones turned off, they can wait.
Alrighty, sounds like a plan right there. Alright, I'm going to let you go, Judd. I do appreciate you being out here representing Domino's, TYJ, and Pad, and good luck to you, Mr. Judd Danielson.
Thank you, Scott.
Now, we do know that Judd Danielson and David Washington are on the same radio comm channel. David Washington out here in first. Big shout out there to the fans out there. Becky, appreciate you keeping me company out here. Big shout out there to David Everly. Becky is hoping for David to bring her home tonight. Steve Deuce out here hoping for Travis Browder. Lap 97 of 100. 3 to go, 13 lead changes. Ladies and gentlemen, do remember to tune in tomorrow night for our suicide awareness race. Same bat cave, same bat time. Probably the same bat drivers. Hopefully the same fans and friends out there on the KMAT chat. Then on Sunday, very special race involving my good friend Travis Browder. We'll learn a little bit about autism. So big weekend here with KMA TV, and then back on Monday. 2 more races on the Monday night series. And away goes Dave Washington, Travis Browder, and Sean Mulchek. Judd Danielson side by side with Jack Watts. This is lap 98 of 102 to go. It is go time. It is beyond go time. Dave Washington, Travis Browder out there in front. Number 64, Lee Staples. Had a little bit of contact there with Jack Watts. Jack Watts on that outside lane. Brad Ream in position 7, but Lee Staples. What a run tonight by Lee Staples, coming up onto the rear end of the number 85 of Judd Danielson. Judd Danielson a little bit slower than number 64 of Lee Staples. Will they go 3 wide here? This is 2 to go, coming around that white. Going to be taking the white checkered flag here. Lap 99 of 100. Big action with Judd Danielson and Lee Staples. David Washington up in front. Travis Browder, Sean Mulchek. Lee Staples going for it. Sean Brown onto the rear end of Brad Ream. Lee Staples going underneath. Judd Danielson on lap 99 of 100 up to the front. Dave Washington will have it. Travis Browder, Sean Mulchek for your top 3. And ladies and gentlemen, well, there it is. Our results are in the books, and we do have David Washington out here tonight, bringing home a win tonight at Texas. Big shout out there to Judd Danielson and Lee Staples. What a battle right there for 4th and 5th. Going to get these drivers up here for post-race interviews. How about it, Sean Mulchek? Talk to me about your night, Sean Mulchek.
Well, started up at the front, hung up there, and then kind of got shuffled back on a caution there, and look out. And I got shuffled back, and Travis, I guess David got into him, and he got loose, and then he got loose again coming off the corner, and I got into him, and that put me way back, and like I did last Saturday, I had to get my lap back, and this time I was able to finish.
Well, I tell you what, Sean Mulchek, you did an awesome job out here tonight. You started first, but you're currently in 3rd. You were to the back, you were to the front. Any final shout-outs here with Nationwide?
Well, first off, all you guys at KMA for putting this on week in, week out. It's fun to race over here, and wish my buddy Everett was over here tonight, but it's all good. He might be on tomorrow.
All righty, copy that. Sean Mulchek started 1st and 3rd. Good job, Sean.
Thank you, Scott.
How about it, Travis Browder?
Hey, Scott, what a fun race.
What a fun race indeed, Travis Browder. Talk to me about your night.
I took my fast repair earlier in the race. I took a deep breath for 10 seconds and made a nice recovery and got P2 out of that.
All righty, well, you did a great job. Talk to me a little bit about your sponsors and any fans you got out there.
I want to give a big shout out to Becky. Hopefully she's watching, and all the fans I love watching. My sponsors, M&M's, you know the deal, and that's pretty much it.
All righty, good job out here tonight, Travis Browder. But the man of the hour is indeed David Washington. Talk to me, David.
What's going on? Yeah, this was. I thought it was going to go green there after we had those few cautions and kind of shake it up a little bit under green flag pit stops, but we were unfortunately not be able to do that. So played a little strategy at the end. We just wanted to see what 2 tires would do against 4 and a little bit less fuel, and it worked out pretty good.
All righty, well, we've got Becky Whitmer out there on that KMA TV chat saying, hey, it was either Washington or Browder, and hey, my favorite driver is up there in the front, so you have got a fan out there with Becky Whitmer. Real quick, you got any sponsors? I see you're in the Monster Energy.
Yeah, definitely. Got to give a shout out to my group over there, Aegis Motorsports. It's actually a pretty big team now. A lot of new drivers coming on board and making it a lot of fun. Give a shout out to Judd for bringing me over here and racing with you guys each week, and you guys for putting it on. It's definitely fun.
All righty, great job for David Washington bringing home the win tonight in race 15 of 20. Good job, Mr. Washington.
Thank you, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a look at our race summary, and we're going to wrap it up. Reminder for tomorrow night, suicide awareness. And on Sunday, the Driving for Autism Awareness, brought to you by Gearhead Paint Shop and Ted Immenheiser. All right, ladies and gentlemen, flashing our results. I am Scott Kolovic with KME TV, and we are on our way out the door. And we'll see you tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen.